All right, task 5, subtracting whole numbers. All right, so I already put the graph paper in, so if that's something you're using, you're going to want to grab it. If it is something you're not, then you can go ahead and do it on the blank sheet of paper. That's fine as well. All right, so looking at it, I'll probably copy down the problem on the gridded paper. If not, don't mind me. You don't have to recopy the problem. All right, so looking at these subtraction problems, there's going to be some that you have to regroup, and there's going to be some that you don't. We started with one that you don't have to regroup. And ultimately, basically, if you, again, context of money, because that makes most sense. Order matters here. So I did write these vertically, and the first number, if you see it horizontally, or the top number, if you see it vertically, that is how much money you have. That is what you have in your pocket, how much you're starting with. The bottom number or the second number, that's somebody, your kid, your husband, your wife, your partner. That is the person, the leech, who is trying to come and take money from you, okay? They're either asking you for an amount you can give, or they're asking you for an amount that you can't give. And ultimately, it's up to you to tell them that you have that amount or that you don't have that amount. So that amount is the number between 0 and 9. Those are your only choices, okay? So if you look at this first one, we're going to rewrite it. Okay. We have 47 and we are subtracting 5. Now, when I say this, okay, we're not thinking about the number as a whole. So we're not saying that you as a person have $47. We are thinking about, again, we have to separate it, and we have to think about only one place value starting with the right. So you have $7 and somebody wants to take 5 of those dollars. Is that a possibility? Yes, it is. You have $7. Somebody can come take 5 of those dollars. Okay? Because that's a possibility, we can do the subtraction. 7 minus 5 equals 2. Okay? And because we can do that, we can move on to the left. 4 minus, I hate to say nothing, but really, there is nothing below it. So we just want to carry that down. Okay, and when we bring it down, we get 4. And the answer to our problem is 42. So 47 minus 5 is 42. And again, you knew this. 47 take away 5 is 42, right? Okay. So let's look at this next one. We have 35 minus 8. Okay, let's use the same logic. Again, not thinking about $35 in your pocket. Let's think about just this $5 in your pocket, okay? Now, if you have $5 in your pocket and your kid comes up to you or your friend, okay, and they say, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." I'm thinking about my kids. Can you tell? Okay. "I need $8. I want to go buy a toy." Okay. Can you give them that $8? Okay. The answer is no. You have $5. They want $8. You cannot possibly give them those $8 because you don't have it. You only have $5. Okay. So now you have choices to make, because ultimately this is like the cash versus credit. I don't know about you guys. I never carry cash. Okay. That doesn't mean you don't have the money somewhere. It just means you don't have it in cash. Okay. So you have to somehow, well, you have to decide if you want to give it to them. But if you do, you have to get it for them. You have to go to the bank. You have to go to the ATM. You have to go to the debit, Venmo, something, okay? You have to somehow get it for them. Now, we talked a little bit about it before, but ultimately, you used to play with those blocks. They were like in those long sticks. And if you remember, there was a very specific amount of them. Okay. And sorry, just getting the picture ready for you guys. Those sticks, like they gave you one of those long sticks, you could break them up. One of those long sticks was a group of 10. You could break them up into 10 baby blocks, right? So 10 baby blocks was equal to one long stick of blocks, right? So 10 is equal to 10 ones, right? And this makes sense. Like if I have a $10 bill, think about it in money. Again, everything makes sense in money. A $10 bill is equal to how many ones? 10 ones, right? Okay. So here's where regrouping and subtracting works. You have $5. Your kid wants 8. You don't have enough. You have to go to the reserve. You have to go to your debit card. You have to go to your ATM. Your ATM, is right here in the tens place. Okay? So if you think about it, your ATM is right here. You have to borrow from it. So what the ATM does is it says, okay, I'll let you borrow, but in the bank, I keep all my money in tens. When you take it out of the bank, you have to keep all your all your money in ones. Okay? Because that's just how we roll. Okay? This column is tens, that column is ones, right? This column is tens, this column is ones. So if you want to borrow 10 from me, you got to keep it in ones. So I'm going to change this 3 to a 2 because I'm borrowing from you, right? I'm taking it out of the bank. And now I'm giving it to the ones group. So I'm taking 10 away from the tens group, but really I'm not taking 10 away. I'm taking 1 10 away from it. So 3 goes down to 2, but I'm adding 10 to the ones group, but I'm adding it in ones. So 5 really turns to 15. Okay? Does that make sense? I mean, I know I'm talking to no one. I'm talking to you guys out in virtual land, but I'm taking it away in the version of a 10, and I'm giving it in the version of ones. Okay, that's why I'm changing numbers in different forms. Okay, so the 3 goes to a 2, but the 5 turns into a 15. Because I'm adding 10 ones, but I'm taking away a 10. So then I go about my day. 15 minus 8 is 7. And again, I can do the same thing. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. And the 2 comes down and gives me 27. Okay. I'm going to do this one. I think I'm going to wiggle over here just so that I can explain the same thing. All right, 776 minus 498. Okay, so here we go. Looking only at this. Okay, I have 6. My kid wants 8. Do I have enough to give him? No, I don't. So, what do? I have to borrow. So when I borrow, I take away from myself. I'm taking away from myself. I'm just taking it out of my bank. So 7 turns into a 6. But now, like, it's almost like, begging. What's that Robin Hood saying? I think, like, stealing from, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul or whatever. Okay, so my 7 goes down to 6, but then 6 turns into 16 because I've taken 10 away from my 10s, but now I've added 10 to my 1s. Okay, 16 minus 8 gives me 8, and now I need to move on to my next. Now, I'm in the same problem because now my second kid comes up to me and says, Mommy, I want something. I need $9. Well, I only have $6. So now 6 minus 9, I can't do it. So now I say to my husband, I'm like, I don't have money. Can I go to your bank? So now I say to him, I got to borrow. So now I go to his and I say, okay, I need to borrow. 7 turns into 6. Since I borrowed 10 from him, my 6 turns into a 16. And now I have 16 minus 9. For some reason, the 9s always throw me, so I am going to dot this one. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay. And now my final thing, 6 minus 4 is 2. 278. Okay. I think this is, oops. Yeah, this is yelling at me. Okay. So this first one isn't going to yell at me too much because you guys all know what 68 minus 62 is. All right. My kid comes to me. They say, Mom, I need $2. I have $8 cash in my wallet. And I'm a happy camper because I say 8 minus 2, keep wanting to say the answer, is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. And I say perfect. And 68 minus 62 is 6. And I'm all done. 821 minus 507. Okay. Immediately I have a problem because my kid comes to me and they say, I need $7. And I'm like, no, man, I only have 1. I have $1 cash in my pocket. Okay. So I say, that's a problem. I need to go to my bank. I borrow from the 2. The 2 turns into a 1. Because I took 10, I need to add 10. And I add it to the 1 in 1. So 1 plus 10 is 11. Okay. So 11 minus 7 gives me 4. Now, my husband's happy because when I move to the next column, I can do this subtraction, and 1 minus 0 is 1. And then when I move to the next column, 8 minus 5 is 3. So I was able to continue on with that one without being stopped because of another column where I could not complete the subtraction. All right, finally, 70, 801, 62, 762. And I'm going to erase that little dot I made. Okay. Subtraction. Okay. Immediately I run into a problem. And if you look across, I'm going to run into a couple problems because a couple of my upper numbers are definitely lower than my bottom numbers or smaller than my bottom numbers. So I'm going to run into major problems because I don't have anything to borrow. So I am saying, okay, I need to borrow. And I go to my bank, and this is like, I mean, I've been there. I don't know if you guys have been there, but like I go to my bank, and I'm a teacher, so I don't get paid over the summer. So like I go to my bank, and I'm like right around this point right now because I still haven't gotten paid this school year yet. And I'm like, oh, there's no money in my account. So when my kid says, Mommy, can I have that? I'm like, no, Mama hasn't gotten paid. Okay. So then I'm like, hey, honey, got any money? And he's like, yep. All right. So we not only have to bounce here, but we have to bounce all the way here. Okay. So we have to bounce 2 columns over. So we make the 8 and 2a 7. And we add the 10 to the next column. So the 0 plus 10 becomes, 0 plus 10 becomes 10. But then what do I immediately have to do? Because I haven't even made it back to my original place. I have to then borrow from my 10 and make that become a 9 to get back to my original place, which when I add 10 to the 1, it becomes an 11. Okay. So 11 minus 2 is 9. Now I can do this column. So it actually took care of 2 problems, 2 for the price of 1, which is good in these lean times. Okay. 9 minus 6 gives me 3. 7 minus 7 gives me 0. So now I have 3 columns taken care of. I run into a problem here because I have 0 and my kid wants $2. I don't have it. So I need to jump over here and say, I got to take away from my 7. That gives me 6. I add the 10 to the 0. So that gives me 10. 10 minus 2 gives me 8. And 6 minus 6 gives me 0. So my answer ends up being 8,039. Go back and replay if you need help with any of those. Definitely, I know there's still one more problem, but I would definitely try some. I would definitely practice some. Keep, with this, it's definitely the process. So the more you practice this, the better you'll get. Let's look at the word problem. And by that, I mean the problem with words. This year, I used 606 kilowatts of electricity in August. Last year, I used 326 kilohertz. How much more electricity did I use this year? So in order to find out the difference, I'm going to take this year, subtract last year. Okay. 6 minus 6 gives me 0. Here's my problem. So I need to borrow from this. That turns into a 5. That turns into 10. 10 minus 2 gives me 8. 5 minus 3 gives me 2. And again, word problem, you need a sentence. Doesn't have to be an elaborate sentence. Usually the sentence starter is from the question. So I used, you want to grab from the answer, 280 more kilowatts, kilohertz this year. Nothing fancy. All right. Try some, ask questions, let me know where you're struggling, and I will see you soon.